to Leanne Presents, or welcome to Leanne Presents if it's your first time with us. I'm Leanne, your host for this video, and this is Alan, my co-host. Welcome. Before we go any further, please remember to like this video if you like it and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell to be notified when we drop more videos. We want to know that you like what we do so we can continue doing it. So do those things. And without further ado, we are here with a vintage reactions.
Yep.
As you've seen from the title card, we are doing our reactions to WWF's UK Rampage 1992. She says, looking at Alan, just in case she said anything wrong.
That's right, we're getting the E out of here. We're going back to the days of WWF.
You know, that phrase, get the E out of here.
Well, yeah. I mean,
we're rocking with pandas.
Give me the steel chair and the panda bear.
Yes. So this video is thanks to a request. I was going to say recommendation. I don't know. A request. We've been asked to review this pay-per-view. Not really.
Well,
we don't
yeah,
review
give
it,
our reactions to it. We don't really do reviews. We give reactions and what our impressions and thoughts are of said event.
We don't call this a review because we are not professionals. This is only our opinions. So, you know, take everything with a pinch of salt. If you haven't seen this event before, I mean, it's a bit old to be saying spoilers. So...
Yeah, at this point, it's like 31 years old. Do we need this, Leanne?
We don't.
Don't. Okay. We're not going to be having...
Sorry.
Just
it
so you know.
would have been a PPV.
Yeah. Just to preface that at the beginning, because I know some
sorry.
people might watch these videos just for that. So
We shouldn't have said anything. Now all the people who tuned in for Sign to the Pay-Per-View are gonna tune out. Stay with us. There's other stuff that we say that might be fun or interesting. Hopefully. All right.
Hopefully. Like the use of our newer screen, because Leanne decided to dye her hair green.
Notice how my green hair is not disappearing.
Notice how the green on my flag is not disappearing from my Clash of the Castle shirt.
See, I've allowed him to wear a Clash of the Castle shirt. Anyway.
Oh, gee, very nice. Thank you, miss.
You're welcome.
That allowed me, huh?
Yes.
Is this what marriage is going to be like when we get married?
No comment.
I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. Nope. I'm out.
Unlike this video, one of the benefits of these vintage pay-per-views is very little filler. They get straight into it. Like a little bit of talking, an interview from each or one of the wrestlers, potentially two in the match, and then straight into the match. So it's like right in the action.
It's like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
Yeah. And as I think this is like 2 hours and 11 minutes long with 8 matches as well. So
crazy.
It's literally like... Obviously, there was adverts when this aired.
Yes.
So there would have been gaps, but in the one that we watched on the WWE Network, if you're in America, it's obviously Peacock. It's just added, it's edited, so the adverts aren't in there anymore. So
let's get into the first match, which is...
First things first.
Oh.
Where are we, Leanne?
We're in Sheffield.
Sheffield Arena, and who's doing the play-by-play?
Oh, I'm bad at names. Bobby Heenan.
Uh-huh.
And... someone else.
Gorilla Monsoon.
He is someone else.
It's Bobby the Brain Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon. The dream team. I thought these guys are so great together.
They're fun.
Just sort of preface this with some of some of the comments that Bobby the Brain Heenan says during this event. You would never, and I mean like ever, get away with that today, ever.
Yeah, a little bit difficult to watch back, but you know you gotta put it in the context of the time.
Yeah, it's 30 odd years ago. So, and the other sort of general note I've got is the air horns were freaking annoying.
Oh my goodness, I've written that down as well. It's like it just got worse and worse. That last match is like I don't even know if I can pay attention to this match because of all the.
Alan, can you mute it for me, please?
Constant air horn.
It's pretty much constant, yeah. Or damn well near it.
It's like one goes off and then the next one will go off and
or then you got two going at the same time, just slightly after each other, and it's like, oh my god, seriously.
Things have improved a bit. I'm pretty sure there's some air horns in Clash of the Castle.
I don't remember.
Not nearly to that extent.
No.
It's pretty annoying. All right, first match.
Yep.
We've got Tatanka versus Skinner. They're pretty good. I think we've seen Tatanka in one of these previously.
Yeah, I haven't got my previous notes. This is a different notebook, but yeah, I'm pretty sure we did see. He was probably at the Battle of the Royal Albert Hall event, which we covered.
I think so.
I think he did fight at SummerSlam 92 as well, if I remember rightly.
Quite possibly. Can't remember. I don't think I've seen Skinner before, so...
No, I don't think you have, no.
Can't
Not
remember.
in the events that we've seen for doing the channel content.
Yeah. So this match is pretty slow, but I think that's kind of more standard for the time.
Yeah.
We've gotten quite used to these days quite fast-paced matches, so that if there is a slow one in a premium life event, it's sort of you feel it being slow.
It's
so
the token bathroom break match.
Yeah, exactly. But this is more like the style of wrestling is very different at the time. They don't have some high flying, but not like flippity floppity stuff.
The flippy
stuff.
Shiznit.
Flippy shiznit. So it's a lot more like technical, getting into the other person's skin.
Mat work
And holds and some power moves. So that it was quite a slow pace, but with like really stark kind of bursts of action throughout, which was really got you gripped in. So it's very interesting to see that different, almost ring IQ kind of different style to draw in the crowd.
I think that a lot of the guys back in these days were more focused on bodybuilding, like making themselves look big. I don't don't follow bodybuilding or sort of gym trends or whatever, but I don't think cardio was really a thing back then. In terms, especially in the wrestling business.
It's all about the muscle.
It was all about the muscle, and obviously the whole going down to the mat for a few minutes with a sleeper hold, that's to give both guys a breather, a bit of a break from the high octane stuff, as it were, or that,
Yeah, something that I've been listening to the Snake Pit podcast, used to be DDP Snake Pit, with I think the one that I'm referring to, I've been going back and forth a bit, is just with Jake the Snake and the host, whose name I can't remember, I'm sorry.
Is that Conrad?
No, it's some other guy.
Oh, okay.
But he's cool. And they were saying that their sort of advice, his advice, Snake's advice to wrestlers at the moment is don't just keep doing fast stuff.
Yeah.
Take it down to the mat every now and then.
Yeah.
Because one of the reasons is it gives the colour commentary time to do something other than just call it.
Yeah.
That you get the chance to put the wrestlers over. So I thought that was a really
and
interesting
also
insight
to sort of
into it.
backfill with some of the story stuff that might be going on as well.
Yeah.
You know, if you've got someone like a Ricochet, for example, who's constantly high paced, going in against like an AJ Styles, who also has that high paced thing, and they just constantly going and going and going and going and going.
So all the commentary is play by play.
Yeah, and then you don't have this. Oh, we know AJ's a former champion. Ricochet's a former IC title holder. All this. So you kind of want that sort of background information, you know, and that kind of stuff, and the building up to the, especially on like a PLE or a pay per view. You want that sort of, if you're not going to show, which I know AEW don't sometimes have time to do so, for example's sake, show the backstory, what's going on with the feud, it makes it difficult for people just joining in to be like, right, well, what the hell's happened?
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly.
No, I agree with that.
So yeah, I thought it was quite fitting. Check out that podcast. It's pretty good. There's a lot of ads, but I just skip them. I did get annoyed. Anyway, the other thing I quite enjoyed in this was at one point Skinner is sort of holding onto the rope, which is giving him more leverage on a hold against Tatanka, and the ref, to break that, just like really high kicks his legs off the rope. Is
that the one where he fell over as well? The ref like falls
over.
out. Yeah, it's Tim White, wasn't it, the referee? Who's just been inducted into the Hall of Fame this year. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like, you don't see that these days. The ref just like getting his leg right up in the air to kick arms off.
I think those days are pretty much done with the referees. I think that sort of died
Yeah.
out with the Earl Hebners and the Tim Whites. And
I think we're getting a bit with the Aubreys.
Aubrey's kind of up there a little bit, but you gotta be careful because
Yeah.
you can probably do it with the women in the women's matches, but then you
Can't hit
can't.
back.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, sometimes like in the day you'd have Earl Hebner do that, and the wrestlers would hit Earl Hebner. Or Dave Hebner, you know, and it's that back and forth with the referee. You can't do that. If Aubrey's going in with Jericho, for example, she stops him. Jericho can't slug Aubrey because that's man or woman violence.
He can make the gesture and then the whole crowd will hate him forever.
Yeah, but it doesn't have the same impact.
No.
You know?
Yeah, that was fun. Anything you want to add before the finish?
Skinner's a total heel. I love
Yes.
just leaning hard with the eye gouging and the rakes and all the biting and stuff. Like we noticed that. I noticed Tatanka's trousers had some bits of darkness on them.
Yes.
And we were like, "Is that tobacco? Is that blood?" And you kind of get a bit of a close up, and it looks like Skinner's maybe bit his lip or something, or the inside of his mouth. There's a bit of blood there. And then when Skinner goes to sort of biting Tatanka's head, and he just leaves a blood stain on his forehead, it's like, oh my god, that's grim. But yeah, I think both these guys probably should have been pushed more. at the time. I've made some bits of notes from some of the guys. So Tatanka is an actual Indian. He's actually part of a tribe. It's not just a gimmick, and he's part of the Lumbee tribe. So that's a legit thing, because I know you asked me that, and he said, is he an actual Indian? Yes, he is.
That's cool.
Neither men had any WWF titles. Not tag title, not Intercontinental. Ever. At all in their entire run. Skinner, both of these guys are still alive today, and Skinner's still running a wrestling school.
Nice one.
So that's cool. But I feel Tatanka especially, he had that look.
Yeah.
That he could have had a really good run with the Intercontinental title, you know?
This is at a time where the titles don't change hands nearly as much as they do now. Because now it's like every couple of weeks you've got a different champion of one of the many belts that are on offer.
Like you say that, Roman Reigns has been champ for like 900 odd days. And...
But sort of on average, I guess. There's a lot of titles and they do change quite often. But at this time, as far as I'm aware, it was like the long haul. If you were champion, you were champion for months. So there was sort of less opportunity for everyone to get a chance at the title. But yeah, I think Tatanka being a champion would be quite fun. Cool, They could have done a lot with that, I think, didn't they?
I agree. I absolutely agree. I know Bobby the Brain Heenan did make a comment about a reservation or something, and it was like, oh, that didn't age well. Oh.
Yeah, that's one of the product of the time.
Awkward. Anyway.
It's the 90s. It was at least starting to get a bit better then. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, good match. A nice start.
I enjoyed
a bit
this,
slow. Short. But that's all good. They have to fit a lot in. So then we go into the back where there's an interview with...
Finish.
Oh, sorry. The finish.
Just completely skip the end of the match.
Tatanka hits Skinner with what we...
It kind of looked like a Samoan drop, yeah.
They don't name the move so much. I don't know if...
All they said was elevator up, elevator down. It's like...
I don't know. Not as many moves would have had names then, I reckon, probably.
Not really, no.
Because it's like they become iconic and then they get a name.
I'm not sure if everyone had a finisher or a signature move in those days, you know?
Not. But yeah, Tatanka wins. It's good stuff. Okay, now that match is done. Sorry. Interview with Hawk and Animal of the Legion of Doom.
Give us your best Hawk impersonation.
Oh gosh.
Come on.
What a rush! I can't do it. I can't. I got scared halfway and then
it's like, she's building.
What a rush. I couldn't follow really what they were saying in this interview because it was just like shouty nonsense, but it was so good.
I know, was it Hawk with something like swelling of the brain sac fluid or fluid sac or something? Broken bones. These are the things that we like. Something like that, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, these are the things that
good.
We're made of, or I don't know. It sort of gave me Sugar and Spice kind of vibes.
Okay.
Yeah. Crazy though. They must come up with it on the spot because otherwise it would be slightly more coherent. But I think
a lot of the time they did at that point. Yeah.
And I mean, when we go further down the interviews, there's a lot of crazy ones. I don't even know. So this leads into the Legion of Doom's match, which is next. So we have Colonel Mustafa and Dino Bravo versus the Legion of Doom, Hawk and Animal.
Yep.
It's a bit faster paced.
Yeah.
Probably partly because you've got 4 people in the match, which sort of naturally means to get everyone involved, you have to have a faster pace anyway. And also having tag teams, you've got like team up moves and stuff.
Yeah. Double team moves, yeah.
So there's more action, more stuff going on.
And it's obviously Legion of Doom are always high impact. Always.
Always. And you've got Dino Bravo, is a pretty big dude.
Yeah, he's a powerlifter originally.
And he's they're like standing up to each other. I think which one's the taller one?
Animal's the biggest of the two. He's the more muscular of the two. Hawk's probably a bit taller.
Yeah, I think it was. I can't remember who it was now, but they were sort of they had a bit of a forearm off, clothesline off.
Yeah.
And Dino Bravo definitely took the worst of it. But it's such a big dude. It's like, how?
Colonel Mustafa's probably just sat there saying, I'm glad I'm not part of this.
Yeah.
with his hook boots.
A classic outfit choice. So yeah, this one felt even shorter than the last one, but I don't know if that was because of the pacing or.
Well, I put on my notes that the Legion of Doom made short work of them.
Yes, that's pretty much it. We had Mustafa got started before the bell even went.
Yeah, it was Colonel Mustafa's the Iron Sheik.
Yes.
So that kind of goes without saying. He's an absolute heel.
Definitely.
You know, and he's going to take shortcuts and.
I don't know if he went just before the bell or if the person ringing the bell was like, oh, they've started, ding, 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 because it was pretty quick, in quick succession. Yeah, I mean, I'll always enjoy a match with Legion of Doom in it.
Yeah.
How can you not? So many kids in the shoulder outfit
pads,
thingies is so good. They love it. So many kids at these pay-per-views.
Well, it was sort of aimed towards that sort of demographic at that time.
I think that you sort of notice it when they're chanting, and it's a very literally different pitch to what you get in pay-per-views these days or premium live events and anything. It's almost entirely children, and then you think there's the parents who are there like, if that kid blows the air horn one more time.
You see the back of my hand. But then you think that the kids in those times are probably the adults who are watching it now.
Yeah, it's just grown up with them. That's pretty cool.
So I haven't put any notes for Legion of Doom because it's the Legion of Doom.
We know him.
Okay, we know the Legion of Doom. Everyone knows Legion of Doom. Colonel Mustafa, as I already mentioned, is the Iron Sheik. He actually had a 38-year career.
Oh, wow.
And he's a former WWF champion. So Dino Bravo. I didn't know about this one, actually. So WWF took over International Wrestling, okay, on August 18th, 1985, okay, and then with that came the WWF Canadian Championship, okay. That was discontinued, deactivated, whatever you want to call it, in January 22nd of 1986. Dino Bravo is the only holder of that title.
Wow.
The WWF Canadian Championship. That was the only other title he held apart from the Tag Team Championships. He did end up retiring not long after this, before the end of the year was out. He ended up becoming involved with some organised criminal activities and was consequently part of I don't quite know what they call it. Is it a drive-by shooting or something like that, or maybe an assassination? But he was murdered in March of 1993. So literally about a year after this event occurred. It's sad, but it just goes to show that crime doesn't pay. Don't get involved with organised gangs.
I think there's a Dark Side of the Ring episode on
I think it was in season 2, I think it was.
If you want more information.
Dark Side of the Ring by Vice. Season 4 is coming next month.
It's a pretty good show.
As the name suggests, it's pretty dark.
Yes.
So, going into the end of the match, prompting Leanne this time so she doesn't forget.
I did already scroll past it in my notes. Legion of Doom hit a Doomsday Device and pin... I didn't write it down. Dino for the win? I can't remember. Oh my goodness.
Pinned one of them. I can't remember.
Why didn't I? It's because it's the short matches. You like blink and you miss it.
Yeah, we watched this.
And they didn't do a replay.
We watched this. Yeah, they didn't read it. Yeah, a couple of nights ago we watched this, so we were relying on our notes and we didn't have time to record till now. So.
Sorry.
But yeah, they pinned one of them, and Legion. All that matters is that the Legion of Doom won.
We like it. All right then. Then we go backstage again for our next between match interviews, and this time it's Sid Justice. And talk about not knowing what he's on about. What on earth was he on about? If I couldn't follow Hawk and Animal's interview, this one just went
It's just
right
a lost
over my
cause.
head.
Yeah, it's a lost cause. It was something along the lines of, I question what's under that white face paint because I know what's under that white face paint. It's like,
yeah, and that pale face.
It's like,
what's under the pale face is defeat or something.
What?
I don't know. It makes no sense. But then we get ironically, a moment of sanity with Paul Bearer and Undertaker.
Oh, yeah! I can't go that high pitched.
They keep the interview pretty short, much shorter than Sid Justice's one, which just went on for ages. And it just made a lot more sense, and obviously ended in classic rest in peace.
Paul Bearer is one of the best in the game for talking.
So good. So good.
Yeah, I remember I can't remember what year it was, but there's an infamous Sid Justice, I can't remember if it was Sid Justice like or Sid at that time, where he's giving a backstage segment interview thing, And
I've got a question for you. We all know that you can bring the heavy offense, but there are a lot of skeptics that think that perhaps you can't take it, that you can't take the punishment that Diesel will give you tonight. How do you address those skeptics?
Well, the skeptics and all the people have a little bit of... Let me do this again.
Oh, it's live, Hal.
Sorry.
oh my god! I think it was Sid. It's either him or Scott Steiner. But then, if it wasn't that one, Sid was the one with the backdrop fell down, and Mean Gene was like, "What the f?" Live on air. And it's like,
Oh, Mean Gene.
Brilliant.
We love you.
Brilliant. Anyway.
Cool. So interview's done. So then we head into the match itself, which is Sid Justice versus The Undertaker. We start this match with Harvey Winkleman comes out. Winkleman? Wimpleman. Winkleman?
Wippleman.
Wippleman.
You said two names and it just threw me completely off my game. I was like...
Harvey Wippleman.
Harvey Wippleman.
Sorry.
Whipple.
He comes to the ring to announce Sid Justice's entrance. I think they use both Sid Justice and what was the other name he said?
You didn't turn to Psycho Sid at this point.
They definitely said the words Psycho Sid, so it might have been close to the time that it changed. 100% I remember they said Psycho Sid.
And I think he went to WCW not long after this run, and then he came back as Psycho Sid, if I remember rightly. Don't quote me. I'm going by vague memory on that one.
It could have just been like an off-the-cuff thing that was said, and then later
He's a
on,
psycho,
like,
is that Sid? Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's interesting.
He had a lot of potential, that's the thing with Sid.
It was a pretty good match for the most part. We'll get to why it's just for the most part.
It's always
shortly.
great to see Sid in that sense, because he's such a big guy. And I always seem to forget how tall he is until you put him in with someone like The Undertaker, and it's like... Whoa. Okay.
A big guy.
Whoa.
This match. It started off so good, and then it went so bad. Okay. Wimpleman is acting as a distraction, which leads to Sid getting the upper hand. Which, I mean, as a heel with a person out with him, of course, is going to happen. It sort of leads to them being on the outside, Sid Justice and Undertaker on the outside. Undertaker goes to try and fling Sid into the ring post, but it gets reversed. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
Reversed. So then Undertaker goes into it, and then the ref counts him out. Really quickly.
Doesn't Harvey Wippleman grab his leg or something and stop him getting in the ring? I think there was some shenanigans.
There was some shenanigans along the way.
Yeah, it was.
But I'm pretty sure
it was literally 8, 9, 10. It's like
a
what the hell?
Like a pin count speed, which is not what you meant.
I was starting to wonder at that point when I heard 8, 9, 10 going so quick if they weren't playing by New Japan Pro Wrestling rules, where it's 20 out of the ring count.
Yeah, but
then he rang the bell and it's like.
What? Excuse me? It wasn't like in that time counting out the ring was just quicker, was it? Just a bit weird.
A little bit.
It sort of left a bit
you
of
surmised that the ref was paid off.
I mean, it would fit. It would fit. So it's a bit of a dampener on the match, that ending, to be honest. And then we get Sid Justice attacking Taker in the ring with a steel chair that happens to...
A cushioned steel chair.
It's got cushions on it. It's probably heavier than a regular steel chair.
Yeah, it looked a lot heavier.
But then Taker recovers and delivers a nice tombstone to Sid Justice.
Yeah.
Paul Bearer stops Taker from doing any more damage by grabbing his attention with the urn. And then they all go home, I suppose. It's a bit weird.
Sid is 2-time WWF champion. If my memory serves correct, both times he won it from Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
And he definitely won it the first time. I think it was the second time as well, but not 100% on that one. Undertaker, there's no need to explain Undertaker. Everyone knows Undertaker is. The final thing I'll say with this match is that this ended up being the main event of WrestleMania 13.
Oh,
so Psycho Sid had the WWF Championship, and he went on to fight the Undertaker at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
WrestleMania 13. Obviously, Undertaker wins that to win his I think it was his second WWF title run at that point.
Cool. I mean, it's a really good matchup. It's just a shame how it went.
Yeah, I can't remember if the one at WrestleMania 13 was good or not. It's been a long time since I've seen that, so I'm going to have to dust that one off and give it another watch.
As expected, the crowd does have a bit of a weird sort of energy at the end. They didn't seem like upset, just a bit Like they
Disappointed.
didn't really know what happened, and so they just had a chat with each other.
I'm not upset. I'm just disappointed.
Pretty much. But yeah, I mean, it could have been better. Choices were made. Things happen.
Yep.
All right then. So then we go for another interview. Shawn Michaels this time, who's going to be in the next match, gets interviewed in the back, and he's got Sensational Sherri with him, acting weird, but I gather that's how she always acts in this character.
Pretty much.
Very clingy.
Yeah.
But that's an interview. Next match.
With his really long earrings, which you...
That's so long. It's got lots of danglies. Okay, so the match is Shawn Michaels versus the Macho Man, Randy Savage.
Ooh, yeah. For
the WWF title.
Mhm.
I felt weird not writing championship, but they said title, so we're going.
They did at one point say heavyweight championship as well.
Oh, okay.
So,
I just went with what the ring announcer said
yeah.
to start it.
Yeah, I
off.
thought that was really weird the way they just said WWF title. I was like, hang on.
Like, is that the only one?
Like Vince McMahon would have a heart attack if you had someone say that right now. That person would be fired.
Might
so
as well
quick.
have said belt.
Yeah, that they would have just been future endeavored so hard.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
This was a fun match.
Yeah.
So Sensational Sherri came out with Shawn Michaels, and you had Miss Elizabeth with Randy Savage. They do get involved. We
Of
have
course.
Sherri attacking Elizabeth, which prompts Savage to grab Sherri by the hair. He's famously, both in real life and in ring story type stuff, very protective of Elizabeth. So he sends her to the back out of harm's way. And
Doing a bit of a 2-on-1 situation though.
yes, it does, because that protectiveness isn't always a good thing.
No.
In real life or in the ring. But that's okay.
You trying to say something again? Jokes.
We won't get... Yeah, people know stuff. I've written down...
Wait, what do they know?
Everything.
So get my bags.
We don't even need to be here.
I'll get my bag.
Randy Savage loves a double axe handle.
Oh yeah.
There were so many
There's
of
so
them.
many. Yeah, you
I
loved it.
feel like I should have kept a tally of them or something. It's every 5 minutes. He's like, oh, it's gone up to the second rope. Double axe handle.
So instead of Suplex City, it's Axe Handle Avenue.
Axe handle avenue. Yes, I like it. Okay, we go to Sherri attacking Randy Savage while Michaels distracts the ref. Obviously, it's a good team. They're a good team. There's a hell of a ref bump. I don't even quite know what happened, but Savage just basically runs full pelt into the ref, who leaves.
Just crumples like a bag of potatoes on the floor.
Yeah, he is out, and I think he rolls out of the ring entirely.
I believe so. If not, he was right on the edge of the apron.
But then Randy pins Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
And counts his own pin, but obviously the ref.
I think he's trying to get the ref's attention at that point in case Sherri maybe he doesn't quite realise he's knocked the ref out. I don't know.
Yeah, probably. Sherri attacks again, and Randy gets another pin. The ref gets in there, but Michaels kicks out because he's had enough time to recover. Oh no.
Uh-oh.
I've got some autocorrect problems. Oh, I know what it means. It's fine. So we've got Sherri causing problems on the ropes, and out runs Elizabeth, and basically just lifts Sherri's legs up and tips her into the ring.
I like the
over
way
the ropes.
when Sherri was doing that, she sort of stood on the outside of the apron on the feet on the ropes, but she's got these heels on and they just kind of sit on the ropes, so there's no fear of fall. I really like that. That's a very strategic way to do that. I thought that was really cool.
There's not many times that you feel safer by wearing heels.
I thought that was really well done on that.
So Sherri's tipped into the ring.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm getting...
She takes a massive flat back and then sells it like a champ.
These ladies, they know what they're doing. Randy Savage hits Shawn Michaels with a high crossbody and pins him to win and retain the championship. Sherri and Shawn Michaels do attack Savage, but Sherri then accidentally hits Shawn Michaels with her boots.
With her boots.
Accidentally.
One thing with this as well is that Shawn Michaels hits what we know now as sweet chin music.
Yes.
They just call it a simple thrust kick. So that again leads me to believe more that there's no finisher moves for a lot of the guys there. Savage didn't hit like one of his patented finishes with the elbow off the top. Which he didn't hit, obviously.
He was too busy doing double axe handles.
So like as quick as this match was, I'm so used to seeing Shawn Michaels being so much quicker.
Yeah.
Doing a lot more high-flying stuff, but you could see the bridge where it's kind of going towards that style. Like in 4 years later, when he wins his first WWF Championship, he's a lot quicker. He's got that more sort of, especially with the ladder match stuff like that, WrestleMania 10 with Razor and all that kind of stuff, which is really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's just. I'm not going to give any notes on Shawn Michaels or Macho Man or Randy Savage because any wrestling fan should know who they are.
You should.
If you don't, get on Wikipedia, get on Google, do whatever you need to do.
Go on the WWE Network and watch some stuff.
Yeah. There is documentaries about both on there, I think.
Or Peacock, sorry, for people who have that.
I did do it as well. The storytelling was great with the referees, and the obviously with Sherri's getting involved. You got another 2 referees coming down. They don't want her running out one way. She's another ref here, and then I thought it was a really cool way to do it.
It's like, where were they when the actual ref was down?
Having a biscuit at the back.
Biscuit.
Gorilla position.
Cup of tea. Yeah, cool. All right then. Next, the Bushwhackers. They're just like, they're crazy. They come out to the ring doing their, well, they don't come out to the ring, they're like going around the crowd.
Yeah.
Licking people.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't say the word though. Continue.
Doing the whole funny walk with the arms. I find it absolutely insane how much the kids love these guys. It's like looking at them, it's like, why do kids love them? They're going around licking people's heads.
Yeah, I don't know.
They're funny, I guess. It's like they're a bit like clowns, I suppose, in the nicest possible way. Over the top, sort of misbehaving. Kids like some misbehaving. And I guess it's that novelty then of, wouldn't it be funny if one of them licked my head? They did also lick some adult heads as well as kids' heads.
Yeah, they're not age.
They don't discriminate. There's a guy in a suit who got licked and didn't look nearly as impressed as all the kids did. But you know,
if you can just go to Google because you've got your phone there. Earlier this month, one of them did pass away, and I can't remember if it was Luke or Butch. I just want to find out which one it was.
Butch.
So yeah, Bushwhacker Butch did die. I believe it was on WrestleMania weekend. I think it was on WrestleMania Sunday, which is sad. You know, they had a sort of career. They're in the Hall of Fame. They were fun. They were entertaining.
Yeah.
And it's sad. You know, I was shocked
Definitely.
when I saw that. I know it was a sudden thing as well. He took a turn. I think they said it was a cluster of heart attacks, if I remember, or strokes. And then he was to hospital, and he sort of passed during his stay in the hospital. It was quick. It was over within a day. So that's something. At least he wasn't in a lot of pain in that sense. But it's sad. It's sad.
It's really sad. Yeah. I mean, kids loved him.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't matter the why in the end. It's they were probably a lot of kids sort of their gateway into wrestling because they like the funny antics and then they enjoy what they see.
It's probably the over the top, the jokiness of it, the fun.
So. The funny faces.
Kids like to smile, kids like to laugh. That's probably what it was.
I'm not judging.
You know, it's 12% of the spectrum. You got the Bushwhackers and then you got the Undertaker. It's two very different ends of the spectrum. Kids like two things: to be scared and to have fun. Mm-hmm. And you had both there, and it's.
Yeah.
I grew up watching the Bushwhackers, and I thought they were great. You know, so yeah, it's sad that he died, and condolences go to any of his fans, family, or friends who may or may not be watching this. But yeah.
So after going through the crowds, they come up for an interview, and I've written down one little bit.
Okay, here we go.
So they were asked, "How are you finding England?" And their response was, "We didn't find it. The plane did." And that just says it all, doesn't it?
See, that's great. That's my sense of humour to a T. That's great. I love it.
There was more following on, but that's the bit that tickled me at the time. So yeah, that's that bit. Then we went backstage for more interviews. We had Jimmy Hart and the Mountie. And this was another confusing promo. I don't even know. But I guess it ended the Mountie always gets his man, and that'll do. And then we went to Virgil's interview, and he's got a nose guard because they were alluding to he's had broken nose recently, so he's got a nose guard to wear for the match.
Is it broken? I think these were shattered.
Well, the shattered kind of means broken.
No, well, yeah, no, I know, but
very broken.
Yeah, very broken.
So he's got the nose guard to wear. It looks fine on the outside, but you never know. So it's extra protection, and he has a very angry face, very angry face. And now he's into the match. Mountie versus Virgil, with Jimmy Hart at ringside.
In the Mountie's corner, of course.
Yes, obviously. The Mountie, when he comes out, so the song's really silly. I never heard the song properly before. It's very silly.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was written for him or if it's an existing
I think he was
song.
I think it's him doing the vocals on it too, I think. Don't quote me on that.
I would love that. That's brilliant.
Like Shawn Michaels, like the rendition of his music on this particular event isn't Shawn. There was a time where Sherri Martel was doing that song.
Yeah.
And then now obviously we hear him doing the song, as he does the song as well, but but yeah. It wouldn't surprise me if it is Jacques Rougeau doing it, because that's his real name is Jacques Rougeau.
He gets in the ring and gets a mic, and he's like saying to the crowd, "Now everybody say, I'm the Mountie." Nothing. Not booze, not anything.
Just
it's like
crickets.
You don't always expect, like, as a heel, you're not expecting the crowd to do what you tell them to, but you expect them to do something.
Like boo or jeer or whatever.
Yeah, so it's a little bit, I don't know what the crowd's doing. They probably were too busy listening to air horns.
Probably deafened by the damn thing.
Probably. So yeah, that didn't go anywhere. But there we go. Then Virgil comes out and the match starts. But the bell rings before when the Mountie still got his shock stick in his hand, which is a little bit weird to me.
Yeah, and Virgil's trying to get the referee to take it.
Yeah, the Virgil just, as soon as the bell rings, he's like out of the ring. He's like,
I can't
you
blame
need
him.
to get rid of that. Of course. I mean, they shouldn't have even started the match while he still had the stick.
But then Virgil's got his little face protector thing on, so if he headbutts someone off that, he's got some hard plastic on his face.
But
Come
that's
on.
like
Come on.
protective.
Come on.
A shock stick
It's protective.
against bears, maybe. Yeah, no, it's not on. There were a few things that happened where we were like, well, why haven't they been disqualified?
So one of my notes here is DQ Central.
Yes. So I mean, Virgil rips the Mountie's shirt off, fine, but then starts hitting him with it. Surely that's a DQ.
Effectively, it's a
I know
weapon,
it's
right,
not
yeah.
like gonna hurt much.
But in that aspect, if someone was to pull a belt off another wrestler and start hitting them with it, they would get
That's
disqualified.
a DQ. Because you're hitting someone
And let's
with
be
a
honest,
foreign object.
the Mountie's sweating in that shirt. That's
Yeah.
going to have a hell of a lot of weight to it. Towel it, smack! That's going to hurt.
It's gonna hurt.
Man, that's going to hurt.
Worse than that, though, although Virgil started it. Let's go with Virgil started it. The Mountie somehow, I missed how, gets Virgil's nose guard off his face.
I think he kind of went to hit him, and I think he does this, and he shoves it off his
just
face and then
shoves it
picks
off.
it up.
So he's using that against Virgil as a weapon. No DQ, apparently.
So we got fast counting refs and no DQing referees.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
They're all jet lagged. I think the refs are all jet lagged.
They're all paid off, clearly.
They're all paid
They're
off.
just paid off.
The partway, okay. Going away from the DQ.
I love that. She's like, okay. It's
I'm
like, you
reading my
know
notes
this
and
is
then
going to be
remember.
good. This is going to be good. What you got?
So the match is ongoing. The Mountie gets a mic
Yeah.
and says, I'm the Mountie. And then is surprised when Virgil attacks him from behind.
I think that's when he's just putting his shirt back on, isn't he? He's buttoned his shirt back up. He's got
I'm the
mic.
Mountie. Wait, what? I'm being attacked in the middle of a match? I'm the Mountie. Always gets his man. So yeah, that was fun. Of course, Jimmy Hart does get involved, pulling Virgil's legs out when he's trying to do stuff. While the ref is distracted by Jimmy, the Mountie gets the shock stick and hits Virgil with it, and that allows him to get the pin So the Mountie wins, and Virgil is there twitching on the floor. I think he sold the shock stick really well. He's like the leg just twitching. Didn't oversell it, which I think could be really easy with like you're going to get an electric shock, sell it. It'd be so easy to oversell. But I think he was really good. It was believable.
During the pre-match interview, I think it was Shawn who was doing the interview. He does say that Virgil is one of the most popular stars in the WWF at the time. But I'm like, was he?
Not according to the crowd, I don't think.
I don't quite understand that.
Really care
I think
about
that
him.
might have been the Roman Reigns isms where they're trying to push someone and do that.
I like his striped trousers.
I thought it was a decent match. It was short, it was sweet, it was to the point.
There were shenanigans. We like some shenanigans.
Yeah. So the Mountie, as I've already mentioned, is real name is Jacques Rougeau of the Rougeau brothers.
Yes.
He was a former Intercontinental champion and a 3-time tag team champion. He is now retired. Virgil, he's gone through a bit of a rough time recently. He almost became homeless and is now living with some friends in like a shared accommodation thing.
Yeah.
He had 2 strokes and he's been diagnosed with dementia. And about a month after that, he was diagnosed with gastrointestinal cancer. So he's having a bit of a rough time.
Yeah.
On the plus side of things, Virgil did actually hold 1 championship in WWF, and that was the $1 Million Championship. So that jewel encrusted belt you see the $1 Million Man with. As said, he's one of the only few people to hold it. So the only other people to hold it: Ted DiBiase, obviously the $1 Million Man; Virgil, the Ringmaster, aka Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yep.
Okay. Ted DiBiase Jr. So that's Ted DiBiase's son, obviously. L.A. Knight, and Cameron Grant. 6 people have held that belt, and Virgil's one of them.
Nice.
That's in the history books. You can't change that. You know.
No, I wish all the best, obviously, health-wise and.
Yeah. I hope he's doing alright. I haven't heard anything about him recently, but I hope he's doing alright.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, it's a fun match. It's
Yeah,
good.
it was short, it was sweet, it did exactly what it needed to do.
Just a
You
shame
need
the
some
Mountie
heels to
needed
win.
to get the mic so often. I mean, calm down about it.
And you need to get a heel when you're on that.
Yeah,
You've
you
got
do.
to, you know.
Okay, we go now to an interview with Rick Martel, the model Rick Martel. Please excuse me. The only thing I've written about this interview is to note that Rick Martel is wearing a badge that says, "Yes, I am a model," which I found very.
I'm pretty sure that was a recent gimmick change, because he's a former 3-time tag champ. One of the times with Tito Santana, or El Matador, if you remember him. Hey, kiddo.
There he is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was fun. I think this wasn't as crazy as some of the other interviews, otherwise I'd have written more about it.
Yeah, it's pretty much down to earth, wasn't it?
It was. It was pretty good. And then Bret Hart has an interview as well, which leads on to the next match. The model Rick Martel versus Bret Hart for the WWF Intercontinental title.
Bret what?
Bret the Hitman Hart.
There we go.
I know it, I just didn't write it down. It's a very good match.
Yes.
Both these guys are super athletic.
Oh, God, yeah.
And the ring awareness and the ring smarts. I don't know if that's the the ring smarts. Particularly
the ring
from
IQ,
Bret.
I think, is what they class it
Ring
as.
IQ is a much more IQ heavy way of saying it.
Well, I mean, Bret Hart is catchphrase: "The best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be."
Yeah, definitely.
And he certainly showed it in this match.
Oh yeah.
But then, to be fair, so did Rick the Model Martel.
He did, and the sell jobs for Rick as well. Just you know.
I think the problem with Rick is that he got some pretty naff gimmicks.
Yeah.
And I think people just didn't take him seriously at that point. I mean, you go from this, and then the next time I remember seeing him after this, or sort of I remember a pay-per-view after this, was SummerSlam, where he's feuding with HBK, Shawn Michaels, for Sensational Sherri, and it's like, what? Why is he not competing for another title? Why is he not going for like something else? Push him, and he had such a great in-ring ability.
Yeah.
And it almost felt like it was just kind of thrown away by the wayside to go, you're a model, pal. Here's your perfume stick, pal. And your little flat cap, pal.
Wasted talent.
Thanks, Vince.
Yeah. Definitely. There's a classic tactic of targeting a single limb to wear it down, with Bret targeting
Because
Rick
his finishing
Martel's
move
leg.
is?
Bret's, the figure...
No.
Hang on. I don't know.
Sharpshooter.
Sharpshooter, that one. I don't know why I was thinking figure 4.
That's Ric Flair.
That's Ric Flair. It's very different. Maybe it's because I've got Rick in my mind. There we go. Justified.
Get out of here.
The ending of this one, while not as disappointing as earlier matches that we've spoken about, a little bit surprising.
It wasn't a count-out finish.
No, it wasn't a count-out finish. It's a small package roll-up, though.
Bret was synonymous for doing this.
Yeah.
He won
that's
quite
okay
a few
then.
matches with that.
If it's like part of his thing, then that's fine. But I think
It's the
It might
technical
be.
ability, isn't it?
yeah, because nowadays, because we want to be comparing this with what we're seeing now.
Yeah.
A small package roll-up is like a shock finish.
It's a transition. You've got to kick out of it to get you out of it and expend energy move. It's like, going back to the Snake Pit podcast. Do you know what Jake the Snake's finisher was?
I can't remember now.
DDT.
The DDT, which is now just a regular
Just a
move.
basic move, yeah.
Yeah, it's like you don't see, if you see a finish in a small package, it's always like what was that kind of thing.
And I hate that. It's like, you watch, going back to WrestleMania, just going with Cody and Roman, right? How many times did Cody hit Crossroads? How many times did Roman hit a spear or a Superman punch? And it's like, God, really?
Finishers
Come on.
aren't finishers anymore, but they're signature moves now.
It's pointless. I enjoyed the ending. I really liked the ending of this match because it came out of nowhere. The same thing I said about when Bret Hart fights British Bulldog for the Intercontinental Championship at SummerSlam 92. Bulldog doesn't use a fancy move. He does a float over. Bret goes to roll him up. Bulldog grabs his legs and hooks him down to pin him. Yeah. Genius. There's no, here's like a massive finishing move. Bang, you've hit him with it. It's got to be 3. 1, 2, 3. There we go. I like that spontaneity of it. And it's like, oh God, that was the end? Oh my God, where did that come from?
A bit more real.
Yeah.
Rather than
You look at a boxing
everyone in
match.
the ring is a superhero.
You look at a boxing match or an MMA fight, right? You don't see the boxer going, now's the finish, winding up, punch, oh, he's out cold. You never see it. You know? I think that they need to kind of go backstep a little bit to this, yeah.
Yeah. I like it. We need a mixture
And
of
it's-
the bit like really high profile superhero stuff
Yeah.
and the back to basics.
And I think that's the thing, AEW does tend to do a bit more of this than WWE does, because WWE have got to pander to the crowd.
Yeah.
AEW want to put on a great wrestling match. And there has been times when it's just been a small package or a schoolboy roll-up or whatever, you know? And it's like, oh my God, you won with that? Awesome. Cool. Yeah.
Nice one. So that's Bret winning.
Yeah. Retains the Intercontinental Championship.
Retains. I found it quite interesting. I hadn't noticed in the other matches. It might have been just the camera angles. But when the bell rang for the end of the match, you could see a surge of people running down the aisles.
You know why? Because it's Bret.
Yeah, they wanted to try and
They
touch
probably
him.
had on the Legion of Doom.
Probably.
But the camera angle was probably on the Legion of Doom.
Yeah, it's quite an amazing thing to see. It's like half the crowd is just surging forwards in the aisles.
That was cool.
It's pretty cool. And then we had a very strange and very long freeze frame of just Bret holding his
Yeah, that was weird. Yeah, that was weird.
It was for a little bit too long. But I guess it was a choice.
Yeah, a choice was made.
A choice was made. Yeah, really enjoyable match. I liked it.
Yep.
All right. More interviews. This one starts with the flushing of a toilet.
Oh.
And out comes Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Oh.
He annoyed me.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that. Yeah, the fact that he decided to start this interview by coming out of the toilet
That was
distracted me from the rest of the interview.
weird. Yeah.
Choices were made. Trying to be funny, I think. So that takes us to the next match, which is Repo Man versus Hacksaw Jim Duggan. It's fun.
Did you know that you've seen Repo Man before, not as Repo Man?
I feel like you've told me this before, but I cannot remember who.
So Repo Man used to be Smash and Demolition.
Oh.
So the guys that looked like the Legion of Doom with the face paint,
Yeah.
he was one of those. Consequently, 3-time tag champion.
Nice.
And just because I'm here now, Hacksaw Jim Duggan won no titles.
That's a travesty.
However, he did win the very first Royal Rumble.
Okay, cool. He got something. I mean,
He's got his 2x4. What does he need?
he does have his 2x4. What an iconic character. Although he said "ho" way too much.
And USA.
way too
It's
much.
like, you're in Britain, pal, not your audience.
Oh. Well, the audience were going for it.
I know.
But it was like every move he was doing the whole thing.
Yeah.
Which, it's fun, but a little bit over.
It's fun for the first, like, dozen times.
It's like, okay, already, we know.
Jesus, someone gag him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why is the finish there. I don't know. I think the match was pretty short, but they just went on a bit with the after the match fighting. High five. Because Repo Man he has a rope with a hook, which is I guess a thieves' tool.
Yeah.
But he uses it, and the ref sees, and he gets disqualified. Which is fine. It's
and then,
you know,
Duggan pulls out the 2x4.
Yeah.
Sends Wippleman running.
But that's after you had a bit where Repo Man, after getting disqualified, uses the rope to choke Duggan out almost.
Yeah.
And then ties him up in the ropes. The ref, I don't know what I've written. The ref stops him from hitting Duggan with the hook again, and while they're sort of talking about it, that's when Duggan manages to free himself from the ropes.
That's right.
Crawls around to get the 2x4.
That's right, because he's doing this stupid thing on the top, trying to find the 2x4, and it's blatantly obvious. Like,
yeah, and then he chases Repo Man out of the arena. It was fun, but yeah, the constant hose.
It was a bit what's the word about it? There was
slapstick.
Yeah. What's that? There was the sketch show with the music with someone was being chased.
Oh, Benny Hill.
Benny Hill, that's it. They kind of reminded me a bit of that.
Yeah.
You know? It's like, oh, where's my 2x4? Oh, got it! And he's running out of the arena. It's like, oh my god, really, this is just...
It's the comedy
like,
match.
You talk about Bushwhackers being comic relief. This was much worse than the Bushwhackers, let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean, at least the Bushwhackers, it was just like...
At least the Bushwhackers were entertaining and weren't going ho every 2 words.
Yeah, it got annoying. But, I mean, we should have seen it coming when he started his interview with flushing a toilet.
That's what they should have flushed this match. Literally, it's quite funny. I put filler/toilet break match.
Yeah, toilet break.
It's quite fitting, isn't it?
Maybe the flushing of the toilet was the signal to the crowd.
Whee!
Although, the crowd wouldn't have seen the interviews. They didn't have a big
No,
screen,
they didn't
did
have screens at that point. Hello.
So how did they know? Hey. All right. We go back again for more interviews. And this one is with Randy Savage.
Ooh, yeah.
So this is the first one that's an interview following the match that's already happened.
Yes.
And it's Randy Savage pretty much calling out Ric Flair.
Yeah.
So I guess they're going to...
So he won the title from Ric Flair.
Yes, and he wants it. He wants it. Yeah, he's gonna take out Ric Flair. And the thing that I love most about Randy Savage interviews is that he's always facing the wrong way.
Yeah.
Just
and he's always at like 10 to 11.
And when the interview is over, he crosses in front of the interviewer, which is like not done, passes Miss Elizabeth, and then from off camera is like saying, "Where's Miss Elizabeth?" when she's literally right behind him. Randy Savage.
He's crazy. He's such a good character.
Crazy, yeah, definitely. I mean, how can you not enjoy it? It's just fun. Iconic. And then we have an interview with the British Bulldog, a little bit more serious. Yep, I mean, it's just British Bulldog getting ready for his match.
Yep.
Getting serious.
Yep.
Why not? Then we cut to IRS in the ring.
Do you know what IRS stands for?
Irwin.
Yeah.
Schyster.
Hey, well done.
Or Inland Revenue Service.
Oh, wow.
So he's in the ring, basically accusing the UK of tax evasion.
Everyone in the UK is evading their tax.
Basically, he said the UK is the worst country for paying taxes. And we're there like, our taxes are taken automatically, unless you're self-employed, in which case it's a whole different story. But yeah, no, IRS, you're wrong. That's what I say. They're really mean to the British. who was it that I can't remember when it was in the event. There was a little girl. I think it's the girl that Bret Hart gave his glasses to. She gets them and walks off, and then the guys doing the commentary are just saying, "I guess she's pretty cute for someone British."
Bobby the Brain Heenan, that would have been, yeah.
Come on, we can hear you. So there we go. And that's just me being sensitive. But we go into now our main event.
Right, she's slobbering on my page. Do you
Rags
mind?
slobbering on the page.
Dear God.
So this is IRS versus the British Bulldog, because you can't have a UK pay-per-view without the British Bulldog.
Apparently so.
Because he's British. It's in the name.
Where was he at Clash of the Castle?
I'm not answering that question. They had an
because
exhibition and his daughter was there, okay? We're not going there. It's sad stuff.
Yeah, it is. He's only 39 when he died.
Yeah, really sad stuff. What a talent though.
Yes.
It's good.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a good match, great match. Got IRS is clearly being heelish as expected. He's got a hold on British Bulldog. I think it was like a crossbody kind of twisty thing. I don't know. I don't know what you call it. He's holding him so his body's all twisty. But then IRS is holding on the ropes to get leverage and extra push. And then
abdominal stretch.
yes, that's the one.
I wasn't sure if you meant the one where he's on the floor and he's using his legs.
No, it's upright twisty thing.
Yeah, abdominal stretch.
You know, the upright twisty thing. Every time the ref's sort of looking at Bulldog's face to make sure he's not submitting, and every time he looks up to see what IRS is doing, IRS is just like...
Yeah, pulling
nothing.
his hand off the ropes.
And then hand back on the ropes, but then he gets caught.
Mm-hmm.
Ref catches him and is very animated about it,
Right.
which is great. You do have... because at points the ref was seeing that the ropes were moving.
Yeah.
So when... IRS was not holding the ropes, and the ref was like, "Why are the ropes moving?" You had Jimmy Hart going, "Oh, it's me doing this," and moving the ropes up and down.
He's just telling him off.
It's like, just leave the ropes alone. That was fun. We had, obviously, Jimmy Hart's getting involved in more ways, distracting the ref so that IRS can use the briefcase, but Bulldog catches him.
Yeah.
And stops him doing it. We have another instance of the ref kicking Jimmy Hart's arms off the ropes to stop him adding to a hold. Oh, Rags is in attack mode. And that assist from the ref, I suppose, allows the Bulldog to hit a running power slam. Sorry, my bad. I wrote the wrong thing down. On IRS and pinning him to win.
So, can you tell me who IRS is?
He is Bray Wyatt's dad.
Who else is he his dad of?
The other Wyatts.
Nope. Bo Dallas.
Bo Dallas.
So Bo Dallas is Bray Wyatt's brother.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
So, yeah.
IRS 5-time
family.
tag team champion.
Nice.
3 times with $1 Million Man. That's part of
Cool.
Million Incorporated. British Bulldog. He was obviously died in 2002. I think he was a cluster of heart attacks. I think he died again in the hospital, I think. He was trying to get back into ring shape to restart his career. He had a history of substance abuse, unfortunately. 2-time tag team champion, 2-time hardcore champion, 2-time European champion, and 1-time Intercontinental champion. Never won the big one.
But he got a lot of the other ones.
He did.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, he did.
Ah.
He was good. It was good to see him finally get inducted in the Hall of Fame a couple of years back.
Yeah, definitely.
It's about damn time, I say.
Deserved.
Yeah, it's about damn time.
For sure. So yeah, that is UK Rampage 1992. I feel like from the vintage ones we've looked at, probably not the strongest.
No, but then this was effectively a glorified house show that was recorded.
Because it was a tour rather than like they're coming here for one big show. So I guess it's not to be expected that it'd be as hard
Like Battle Royal Albert Hall had that Battle Royale match as a spectacle. SummerSlam is one of the main pay-per-views of the year. They were only doing 4 at the time, and that was one of the big ones. So yeah, those are the other 2 being watched, obviously, in the WWF catalogue.
Yeah, so that makes sense. I think, well, the air horns did not help. By the end, it was constant and really just sort of sucked the joy out of it a little bit, which is a shame because that Bulldog and IRS match was a good match.
It was really good.
But it was a bit...
So
maybe
saying
we
that-
should have muted it.
Saying that then, what was your least favourite match of this event?
My least favourite match was Repo Man versus Hacksaw Jim
Could
Duggan.
not agree more if I tried. It's a shame because Repo Man, Jim Barstow was really good.
Yeah.
You know, it put it back in Demolition. I thought he was fantastic. Favourite match?
Rick Martel versus Bret Hart.
Oh, I thought you were going to go Bulldog. Yeah, I agree. Bret Hart and Model, Rick Martel was just a clinic. It was
It
an
was,
absolute
yeah.
clinic. They both put on a really great performance. Bret Hart, no doubt. Rick Martel really shows you something in there that he's worth, and they should have pushed him harder.
Yeah, definitely.
You know?
Right?
So yeah,
Good
okay.
stuff.
Cool. Final thoughts?
I don't know, what's next?
Do you mean in
not doing
terms
a
of what we're
Goldberg.
doing, or?
I guess we'll have to line up another vintage watch for...
We have got an ECW one
we
that I
do.
kind of want to look at in the
Nice.
pipeline. Because you've seen WWF, you've seen WCW, you've not seen any ECW.
Very true. Yeah, that'd be good to get some of that in. Obviously, May is going to be pretty
Oh yeah, we got
pay-per-view heavy.
3 pay-per-view PLEs in May.
So we'll
Can you name
have
them?
a look at it for the
In
summer.
order?
No.
Can you name them?
There's King and Queen of the Ring,
Wrong.
which has now changed its name.
Night of Champions.
Night of Champions. And
So that's on
then
the
there's
27th.
Backlash,
Yeah, that's on the
which
6th.
is earlier, because it's not WrestleMania Backlash, but that's how you know it's next. And then there's an AEW one, which I can't remember which
Double or
one.
Nothing.
Double or Nothing.
Yeah.
I know it's a casino type name, but that's it.
So the Night of Champions, I don't know why they're doing that, but my guess is because they're going to push Roman Reigns to be a 1,000-day champion.
Yeah.
And that's
They
the day that he hits
love
1,000
their
days.
records.
And it's in Saudi Arabia, so...
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Thank you so much for watching our vintage reactions to UK Rampage 1992 from the WWF, not the Panda one. Please leave a comment below. Let us know what was your favourite match of this event. Were you there? Were you
Ooh,
one
that
of
would be
the
fun.
annoying children with the air horns? Maybe don't tell me if that was
Or were you one of the parents getting deafened by one of the annoying elves?
Maybe. Let us know. It'd be really interesting to see if any of our viewers were there.
If you are one of the parents watching that was there with the air horns, you may need to turn on the closed captions if they're automatically generated, because you probably can't hear a damn thing we're saying.
Like this video if you liked it. Hit that subscribe button and the bell to be notified when we drop new videos. Follow us on our socials on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook. Our link tree's in the description below, which will take you to all of those places. We do weekly updates, so you can find out on a Monday if that week is going to be the week where we do that WCW video.
Or any other content you're looking forward to.
We do lots of stuff. Good stuff. That's it. Anything else?
Nope.
We're done at all? Great. Thank you again for watching. And until next time,
Snap into a Slim Jim?
snap into a Slim Jim.
yeah!
Oh, yeah.
Oh, rush!
Oh, rush. Bye.